part-time, full-time. You're listening to Full-Time Daughter. It's a full-time job at this point.
Welcome back to Full-Time Daughter. It's a new season. I can't believe that. Welcome back to the new season. We are officially in season 3. This is our first episode. I think that if you guys have been keeping up with us on social media, you've been seeing the rebrand. We've been kind of switching things up. We've been gone for so long. We were in a little hiatus, I like to call it, you know. So we just wanted to update you guys on what's been going on, what to expect from this season. We also were at a place where we were figuring out like the future of Full-Time Daughter and like where we wanted to go, and so we needed time to, it was so fresh, like explore that and think about it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Isa
and I'm Cailyn,
and we're Full-Time Daughter. Full-Time Daughter is all about our experiences in our 20s. I feel like we don't have that sort of typical traditional life of a 20-year-old, and we're sort of just figuring things out. We love to experiment, try out new things, and we come back on the podcast and talk about it.
We come on the pod every week, and it's like we just tell about our lives and the stuff that happened, what upset us that week, what excited us. Like, it's very much real time. So as we're filming this, it's like we're in this like era that we're embracing, and we're like, you know what happened. We learned so much from that. We're gonna talk about it still, but it's still very much real time, like what's happening. Everyone, like, brace yourselves, like, let's like are you ready for this? Tell us.
Cailyn and I both have some sort of job at the moment, and it's like really exciting because even though it's not anything crazy or like corporate baddie or anything like that, no, like, it's still like so fun to be, you know, doing like a new thing.
Yeah, and just like being on a schedule. I think being on a schedule is teaching us a lot about how we go about our days and like structuring the podcast with someone else's work into our schedule. It's so funny too because we went into the year, like, I remember so vividly, we went into the year setting like all these goals. We're like, oh my god, we're rebranding.
Guys, like, we made like mood boards.
Yeah, we made like vision boards.
Like, I wrote like prophecies. And I was like, I will I will, and I'm gonna read that. But I was like writing down, like,
she also, like, there was a night where she just got like these visions, and she was telling me like literally everything she saw in my future, and I was like, whoa, like,
that's another episode,
a whole thing in itself that we have to talk about
for another episode.
But she fully had like a whole prophecy and like a vision that came to her.
I'm like an oracle. Like, I literally am, I swear.
It was giving like you were giving me tarot reading.
I'm telling you, I'm like very connected. When I have moments where I'm like very connected to the universe, and I just get like these like visions.
I'm like, please tell me what my future entails. Don't tell me if something.
DM us for inquiries. Like,
at the beginning of the year, we had also made this plan. We were like, would it be so fun to go on a date every single month of the new year? This was Isa's idea.
Oh god.
I would like to preface this.
Okay. Yes, it was my idea because I was like, why not? It was
I'm not shitting on
fun.
it. Okay. I'm not shitting on it. I thought it was actually a really good concept. So she was like, why don't we, because we always say we want to like talk to, like, meet new people, talk to new people.
Yeah.
Why don't we try going on a date a month? That was like her vision at first. And she was like, I'm going to try to do a date a month.
Yeah. It's something that's like so difficult for us, and I have no idea why. There's so much like anxiety and like stress over that.
It's like a whole production. So we were like, all right.
We were down for it. We were on a mission, guys. We were like, let's
put those
do it.
Hinge profiles back on.
We were back on.
We were like, okay,
back on the dating apps, which I had sworn off dating apps because it was not for me.
Just because it's so hard.
It's so hard.
We can talk about that for literally so long. I'm sure everyone knows, if you've been on a dating app, how literally vile and treacherous the field of men is.
Treacherous?
It's treacherous. Like, it actually feels like you're being drafted into like the freaking Hunger Games. Like, what is it called?
You can't believe it.
Like, what are they called when you're going into the Hunger Games?
I don't know. I was gonna say the Sorting Hat.
Trustees. Yeah, it was like the trustee. Whatever they're called. Like, whatever. It feels like you're being like presented, like you're put on like physical display.
And if you think about it, the whole concept is so weird.
The whole concept is literally dystopian.
I won't fully get into it.
It's so weird, and it feels weird to like whatever. But we're like,
it's
what else are we gonna do?
A quick way to find someone. You know, everyone was saying like lower your standards, don't put so much pressure on someone. Like if you think they're cute and you like made a plan, just go on a date. Just do it. That was the goal.
That was the goal. We did that. We put our profiles, we start talking to some people. Nothing's really hitting quite how we would want it to, but we find ourselves in a situation. We find ourselves with prospects. And we're like, wow, okay, like maybe we'll find someone. Yes.
You.
Okay, well, you found yourself in a position, but some other way, which we're gonna get into. But I was like, okay, as long as I get good energy, like honestly, we always talk about how as long as you trust like the person, if you talk for a little bit and you're not getting any weird vibes, you think like, I can meet up with this person for a conversation and it's not gonna be the end of the world. I got to that point with someone where I was like, okay, like if they ask me to go out, like I would say yes, because what does it hurt? We said we would do it. Like fuck it.
Which one is this?
These 3 unlocked characters. We're gonna start off with who? Aristotle. We're gonna start off with Aristotle.
Okay, Aristotle.
So I meet someone on a dating app. I'm thinking this is honestly one of the first people that I was talking to and I thought was cute, like physically my type. And I was like, whoa, okay, usually I'll just start talking if I feel comfortable. And once I start feeling like, okay, I'm not getting weird vibes with this person, so why not, if they ask, like I'll say yes for a date. This was one of those people where I was like, physically it was giving my type.
Aristotle was crazy.
I
was like, Aristotle looks like an actor.
Like he literally looked, yeah, like giving famous actor.
Giving like model. Like I don't know.
He kind of was giving me like European vibes. Like he wasn't even from here. Do I even know where he's from? No, because he didn't give me the opportunity. But anyway,
dating apps, we love
we
them.
We don't have to talk about that. Anyway, so physically he was my type and I was like, okay. It got into kind of like a talking for a few days. It wasn't even like a talking stage really, because that goes on for ages with people where it's like we were talking for 2-3 months.
A textationship or whatever you call it.
Yeah, like a flirtationship.
Oh, okay.
But it was more so like we just exchanged a few messages. It transitioned from like that to Instagram. Never left Instagram. Like it just stayed in the Instagram DMs and like
Girl,
I hate
trigger warning if you're gonna say Instagram DMs. Like trigger warning that literally give me goosebumps. God.
Goosebumps down my body. I don't know why they feel so comfortable on Instagram and then not like just giving their number. Which, okay, I get it. It's like very revealing, like giving your number out to someone and then like what if you can't escape them ever and you have to block them? Or I don't know what the deal is. It never left Instagram DMs. It was like a few messages exchanging, right?
Yeah, but if you think about it, I don't know. I'm like, if someone wanted to go out with me, wouldn't they like ask for my number?
Yeah. No, like in the real world.
Aristotle.
In the real world, that's what happens. Anyway, we're talking. It's nice. And I'm like, okay, I'm liking this person. Not liking them in that way, but it's like I have an interest in this person. And we had similar interests ourselves. And I was like, okay, if he asks me, I'm saying yes. Tell me why. And I absolutely hate this. Like I've learned how much I hate people like saying all these things that they're going to do and then never following through with that plan. Like don't say something if you really know that you're never going to get to that point or you're never going to actually follow through with the plan.
Right.
Because I hate that. So he kept saying all these things about like, oh, I'd love to take you here. Or we're going to go on a date here.
Right.
Was using the word date too. Which, to me, there is a difference between when a man says hang out versus date. Like, trigger fucking warning.
Don't ask a girl to hang out if you're, like, romantically into her.
Interested.
Especially if it's, like, the first time you're, like, talking. I don't know. Like,
it
you
sends, like, a different impression.
Or you want to hang out.
Right. And, like, I'm not here to... Hang out to me is giving, like, oh, we're meeting up after school, like, in high school.
Hang out is, like...
meet me by the parking lot.
We're gonna play video games. Like,
like, we're in the den. Like, what?
We're sitting on your bean bags.
Literally, that's what hanging out is.
Hanging out is like that.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Is like, date, okay, like, you want to get to know me.
It's like a thought out plan. Like, hey, I want to meet this place at this time.
That's so important to me.
But you know what I mean? Like, that's what... There's a differentiation, okay?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was all these plans of like, oh, he was even to the point where he mentioned a different place from the one that we originally were going to go on a date to.
Yeah.
There was a second place that he was at.
And it was like nice.
It was like a nice place.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, so like, are you asking me on a date right now? Because
Period,
it was giving like, he was telling the story to me as if like he wanted to take me there.
Cailyn is
right?
so bold. I love her.
No, I'm literally not. I'm literally not.
Are.
I just like, I would consider myself a patient person, but I don't have patience for stupidity. I don't.
Period.
Like, I just don't. Like, I'm patient, but to a certain extent, okay?
Yeah.
So I was like, we're just going to do it. Like, are you asking me out on a date or no? You know? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, that's like a second date thing. So he was like getting ahead of himself.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And I was like, oh, okay, I like it. Like, someone's planning ahead. I like this like concept. Mind you, the first date hadn't happened yet. Like, we haven't even gotten to the first date.
There's not even
a first date plan. Like, you never asked. So
Lord,
that happened. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to say yes. We're going to say yes. I'm like texting, we're FaceTiming. And I'm like, I remember us planning. I mean, like, do we say yes? Like, if he says, like, I was excited because I was like, wait, I'm going to go. This is going to be like my first date.
It's so rare to find a guy that's like your type. The conversation is
interested.
good. He's showing so much interest.
Right.
You're showing interest. It's like, this is a good
going
vibe.
somewhere.
Yeah, it's going somewhere.
Like, we thought. I remember I sent a message from that point forward. Literally crickets. Like, it was literally sent. It was viewed in the Instagram DMs. And
he got
no
amnesia,
response.
bro.
He literally, and I was like, oh, that just like snapped me back into reality because I was like, I forget I did meet this guy on a dating app. You know how many other women are on this dating app? I'm sure he went on a date the very next day to the same place as he was telling me.
I always think about that. Guys, I'm like on my chair and I'm getting like triggered every single time she's like, da-da-da, and I'm like, I felt that way too.
Yes.
No, but I think that way too every single time.
I hate
I'm
that
like,
we
you're not
think
answering
that.
me, so I'm like, is she in your bed or what?
Like, I hate to get to that point, but like,
so you're like sitting on the same side of the booth right now?
Literally,
or like, what?
I'm like, oh, so you went there with someone else. Like, something must have happened where you started talking to someone else because
100%.
if you're not answering me anymore, ever since then, it's literally been crickets on his end.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I hate it. I hate that. Like, we never were involved with each other, and it never got to that point where we even went on a date. But it's the principle of the matter. And I think if you are saying that you want to take someone out on a date, even if you suddenly, like, something comes up, you meet another girl, something happens, and you're just like, I don't really want to see that girl anymore. Like, just like say you're not interested. Yeah. Because then to just be staying in like the story views from here on, like, it just stays for the rest of eternity as like a silent fan.
Yeah.
It's just an Instagram
I mean,
viewer.
we literally, one of our last episodes from season 2, we were talking about how we're not ghosters anymore. Like, we were, because we believe in karma. And it's we're like, how can we hate people that ghost us? And then
if we've done it,
if we've done it,
put ourselves in that position where we're like, I'm not gonna answer.
Exactly. So now we're just like okay, I've said my piece type of thing.
Right. Like, we don't have any obligation, or the other person has no obligation to respond to us, but I do feel like it is the mature thing to do.
But it's also like, why are you ghosting me when you were the one that showed interest first, babe? Like, you wanted to take me on the date. I didn't want to take you on the date.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, babe, what is this?
So from that point forward, we always talk about ghosting and how we hate it, and like just sending the final message, or just like whatever, like just to be stopped in the Instagram DMs is like, it's just like,
say you're not interested.
annoying.
You won't break my heart, babe.
Like, it's fine.
There are other
I'm
fish in the sea. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know, because you found one. You reeled one in.
Yeah, we found one. We're air quoting right now because okay. So that happens, dead in the water, I guess, because he's never reached out, and I'm like, bae, where are you? Like,
yeah, Aristotle, like, where he at?
Waiting for my husband to return from war.
Literally.
But, like, he never did.
Literally. Aristotle will pop up again when he's like, when he's single and he's like stopped talking to whatever person he's talking to, and then he's gonna be like, so whatever happened with our date, babe?
Whatever happened to our date? I would love to know, actually. I would love to know.
I would love to know.
So that happened. Following after like it was probably like a few weeks, because at that point I was just like, here we go again. Because that had already, like, I've already been through that like so many times where every guy that I speak to somehow just like doesn't follow through with a plan, or like will say we're going on a date or something, and then just like we never do.
Lord.
So I was like,
They're missing out, Cailyn. They're missing out on you. Cailyn's so funny. She's so fun, so conversational, so many stories.
I do think, and not to like hype myself up.
No,
but,
do it.
But
Please.
like,
I'll do it.
I don't think I'm like a terrible conversationalist or like that bad of a time.
And like,
you know what I mean?
We'll be in the car and she's driving and I'm literally just like staring at her and I'm like, you're so beautiful. You're
no,
so
and I hate
beautiful.
my side profile.
I literally can't stop staring at her because she's so beautiful.
I can't be perceived in that.
No, girl, you're perceived.
Stop. Yeah. See, she's my number one fan.
Of course.
She will always tell me.
Of course.
And help me see myself.
It's me, and then it's like 2 silent fans, and then it's like Aristotle, and then it's like the other ones.
But it's always her. You know what I mean?
At the top,
like
always.
We always know we see each other for who we really are. And we're like, damn, like who's gonna be the one? Who's
what a loser. I'll
like,
take you
whatever.
there.
Like whatever.
We'll go together.
We'll go together. No, that was also something. Yeah. Like,
we're like, hey.
That's also something that we were like, what if we just go somewhere together where it's like we kind of are on a date at the same time?
Yeah.
But different tables and we just like see each other out of the
I
corner.
was down for it. Cailyn's not down for it.
Okay.
I need to know how friends feel about this. Like, so, I'm so down.
It's not that I'm like cut off from the idea completely. Like, I am down. But I just think like we're such clowns. Like, we would not take that serious. Like, I would be pointing out how I know you. I can't pretend that I don't know you.
I contact with you and I'd literally spit my drink out on this guy.
Like, this guy would be sitting in front of me and I'd be like, you know I know her. Like, that's literally my best friend. And then he'd be like, why are you guys here at the same time? And then like we're both on and we have to explain ourselves. Like, so we're actually here on a social experiment because we have a pod. Like, the thing is, like, we don't even tell men about the podcast.
They just find out.
They find the Instagram and it's plain in our bio, like, co-hosts of Full-Time Daughter.
Immediately they're the number one fan. They're like, immediately they want to know. And I'm like, I get it. It's enticing. You want to be a part of this.
You want to be
They want a mic. They want to be in the middle. They want to talk.
We don't need more males on podcasts. I'm sorry to say it, but we don't.
Take the mics away.
Take the mics away. Take them away. I was not opposed. I'm like, it would never be something serious.
We laugh too much together.
And I just think, like,
serious. You want to give your time and whatever.
Yeah, like, if I was trying to be serious.
It's like what's that thing that it's like, it's unrealistic.
It's an
unrealistic
unless
thing.
It's something that's like planned where the people know, like, it's a double date situation where it's like you're going into it knowing that we're both showing up.
I would love to go on a double date.
I would love it
with
so much.
Cailyn. Like, but here's the thing. I want to go on like an activities double date and you hate activities.
Okay, I don't hate all activities. I'm just not an activities girly. Like,
I just feel like it's so fun. Like, these two
but I do think it makes it less awkward.
It's like, okay guys, get to work. Like, what are they doing? I don't know.
So like, what's your plan? Like, I want to see what you come up with.
So like, what did you study in college? And we're like fucking throwing knives or something, like the axe throwing.
I'm like not opposed to it. I'm like, you know what? I think it makes it less awkward because you're like doing something. I just am like, I don't consider myself like an activities girl. Like, if we're playing games, it's like, no, baby. Like, we're not playing fucking like Catan in the middle. Trigger warning, but like, don't send me around.
We need a buzzer every time I got one of those, like, the air horns.
Yeah.
Trigger warning.
There's many trigger warnings in
so
this.
many, guys. Oh god.
The thing is, like, I just can't be around people that I like have never met playing a game. You know?
I get you.
It's very nerve-wracking for me. Anyway, this guy, this new boy, we're calling him Lonely Boy. So I was talking to him for about like 2 weeks. It wasn't even that long. It was just a few weeks of like talking. And I was like, okay, this is another one of those situations where I feel comfortable enough. If you were to ask me, I guess I'll say yes, because we were really on this mission. We're like, we need to find our people for January.
I was the same way.
You were like really pushing for it.
Yes.
You were like, just say yes. Like, we're really trying. And January was coming to a close. It was like nearing the end. And we're like,
I was on Hinge
what do we do?
trying to find someone.
We're like, what do we do? Like, anyone that's willing to go on a date, even if they're not necessarily our type, whatever.
But again, it's so hard because they don't come through.
They don't even communicate. Like, I think
no hello.
Step one.
No, how are you?
No hello, how are you?
No, would you like to go out?
Like, no. Like, step one, I think, is we gotta speak. Like, we need to communicate. We need to develop some sort of,
like, don't leave me undelivered for 4 hours.
Right. You know? Right. I mean, I do think we had like some similar interests, not entirely, but it would always be like work would be brought up whenever he was like busy or something, and he would come back, you know, like he's giving normal dude, like lives with his friends, like goes to work.
Funny. Was he artsy?
Yeah, like I felt comfortable talking to him. I was like, you know what, like,
was he nerdy? Like, what's his personality?
It wasn't giving nerdy. It was giving like, it was funny. It was normal. Like it was
funny normal.
Funny normal. I don't even know. Like
funny normal.
The thing is, it wasn't the same as like
Aristotle,
where I was like, ooh, he's like intriguing to me. But I was like down
because of our 1 month, right. 1 date a month
goal.
Right.
So I was like, okay, and I like kind of recognized. I don't know if y'all like recognize certain people from dating apps. Like you've seen this person before, you've interacted with them.
Oh yeah,
but not in person. You
like
know
what
I
are
mean?
you still doing here, babe?
Right. I'm sure they think that about me.
Like keep it up.
I'm sure they think that.
It's
they're
like, hey,
you're still
I
here.
see you. I remember you. Keep it up. Like we got this.
Stay strong.
Stay
like
strong.
I wish we could make like a group chat or something of everyone who's like still there.
Dude, you're still here.
We're like, damn. Like how long have you been on here? Years. Okay.
I get you.
So I had like kind of lore with this guy where it's like we recognized each other from like a while ago. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder if he like remembers, because I remember his face.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that intrigued me, because I was like, oh my God, it's funny. Like, who cares? And like, you kind of know the person, but you don't. So I was like, whatever. It doesn't hurt to start a conversation again. Then it starts getting a little sparse with the text messages, and like hours would go by and I was like, it's fine. People work. People are busy. I don't expect you to be by your phone 24/7, you know? And like, I have no attachments to this person.
Right.
We've never met. So I'm like, okay. He had asked me out on a date, which literally the same place that
that's
Aristotle.
Oh my God,
had
that's
asked me out on
funny,
a date.
dude.
And I was
That's
like,
funny.
bro, I don't know
funny.
what it is about me. I don't know if it's the vibe that I give off.
Miss
Same
Bookstore?
place.
Miss, your little like just with your little books.
Yeah, you know, it's my literate.
No, she actually
persona.
is very literate. Like, yeah, girl. I'm like being like her little books and like, no, bitch. Like the library she has, like this girl, literate queen right here.
My literate self.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, and I was like, you know what? Period. Like, yeah, I'll go, because the other one didn't pan out. So I was like, whatever, I'll go to this place. So I pretty much say yes, and I'm like, oh, whenever you're free. I'm like opening the door to you're the one making the plan. Like, I refuse to be the one to give like a date and a time. Once I say I would, like, yes, like I'd be down. I'd love to.
I love a how does Saturday at 3
Blah, blah, blah
sound?
Yeah.
Ooh,
We love that.
We
love
love it.
taking initiative.
we love it. And then
a plan.
call or text me the day of, or like just
Like a check-in.
the day before. Text me the day of.
that
call.
it's still on.
A little
Wow,
check-in.
gross.
Delicious.
What a man.
Wonderful. How simple is that, bro?
Right. Issa had gone on like a trip for the weekend, and it was
Guys.
like very last minute. She was gone. And so I knew my weekend was free, and I literally said like, hi, my weekend is free. My friend is like gone out of town. Like, we're not planning, we're not doing anything. And it was like a lot of back and forth of like, I don't know if it was just like miscommunication. I don't know what, because I very clearly said like my weekend was open.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he just like he was still asking like, oh, when's your friend? When are you and your friend
Why am
planning?
I
When?
in
And I was like,
here?
she's like not
Get me
here
out of
right
there.
now.
Get me out of there.
She's not here right now.
I'm not here,
Like,
baby.
she's not here. So then it was like, we were texting the day before he had planned for that weekend. He was like, okay, this weekend. And I had this like thought in my mind that it was going to be that weekend. So the night before, like that Friday before the weekend, we were texting back and forth, and I never got like a solid plan. Like, oh, tomorrow at this time, we should meet, or like we're going to meet.
Insane to me.
I had already said my weekend was open. So I wasn't going to be the one to like bring it up again until you tell me. And it was giving like just like very normal conversation, like checking in, like very like updates on your day, whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess something came up, because he's not coming up with a plan for Saturday. He answered, I think at 12 or like at 2 in the morning. I think it was 2 in the morning. That same day that I had texted at 4.
That's crazy.
And I was like,
to me.
oh, like you were busy, you know? One thing about me too is that I know if you're texting at like 12, like past 10 p.m. Past 10 p.m., like, what are you doing texting me up? Thinking I'm gonna respond.
He was playing video games, and
He was bored.
He was playing video games, and then he was like, oh, let me text this girl.
Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? or you and your buds are done hanging out for the night, you come back to the apartment, you're bored. You love a woman to be there, comforting you.
They love attention.
That bitch Amy.
They love attention.
So
I get it.
I can clock the timing of messages, and I'm like, odd that you're texting me at this hour when you weren't texting me all day.
Same girl.
Exactly. Yeah, the finger-holds.
Same girl.
So it was very weird. And I was just like, okay, whatever. He answers later on. He's like, oh, sorry, like the weekend like passed us by, like I guess that's just how it is, like whatever, something like that. And
I hate that.
I don't like it. I didn't like the response just because I think personally, if you really want to see someone or hang out with them, you make the plan. It's like really not that hard to be like,
agree.
even if something does come up.
It was such a lazy
text.
excuse,
you know?
It was such a lazy excuse. Like, even if you were truly busy and you
I don't
truly
mind.
like forgot, like it passed your mind or the time just passed you, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Start with that, an apology.
Right.
And then can we reschedule? Like, I know your schedule's super busy, but like, can I see you on whatever?
Exactly. Like, I'm usually just like, if you explain yourself,
you know
or
how
something happened,
you know how the week can be.
like, you know how yeah. So I was like, that's weird.
Lord.
A week goes by. A week literally goes by of me not responding to this text message.
And no, hello, how are you?
No,
like,
hello, how are you?
No signs of like.
There was like no check-ins of like
nothing.
Hey, like I really did mean to set up the date and like it just couldn't happen. Like there was like no reasoning. There was no reasoning. So I was like left in the dark, and I was like, oh, like I guess he just didn't want to see me, right?
Yeah.
Like you would get that impression too, right? Everyone's nodding yes.
Yes.
Head up and down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, trust me. Yes.
So the week literally goes by. Friday hits, and I got a text message from none other than Lonely Boy. Yeah, I got a text from Lonely Boy.
Tell me why. What did he say?
And he's like, it was also at night. Again, with the clocking of the timing of text messages, because we have not spoken all week. Friday rolls around, it's 8 p.m. It's like 8 p.m. And he's like, hey, this is a long shot, but like, would you still be down to go to this place? Because I was going to go, but like, I don't want to go alone. And I was like, also, like, I'm a filler.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to go. I'm going to go. Like, do you want to go?
Do you want to go?
I don't want to go alone. Honey, what? Like, what are you telling me? When I heard this, because I have heard this, right? Like, she immediately told me that he's sending the audios. I'm in the airport. I'm about to leave. Can you believe he said that? And I'm just thinking, like, oh, because I don't want to go alone. It's like, right. It's not even like, hey, I'm so sorry. It might be a long shot. I can't believe I hadn't texted you. Like, it's been such a weird thing. Like, tell me about your life. Like, what's the weird thing that's been going on? And then be like, hey, if you'd still be interested, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to take you. I'd love to buy you a coffee at wherever.
See, I love that response.
Why do you have to say, I'm going, you can go, I don't want to be alone?
Like, would you, even though I know, and I think it's funny too, like I know it's a long shot because like I hadn't answered. So it's like, I just think it's so funny, like the wording, because I'm like, it's a long shot. I wonder why you think it's a long shot. Mm-hmm. Because you know, like internally, that like what you did, like had effects on someone else. Like it bothered someone or like it hurt them. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I'm not going to respond to that either. Because what? So I was like I was actually in an in-between. And I was like, do I answer? Because I had stuff to say that was on my mind.
Right.
Of like,
this is where we get to a lot of like discourse around our
get a lot of
friendship
discourse.
And like the way that we, I don't know, have gone about things. Because Cailyn's like, that thing that she's just saying is like, she was like back and forth over, do I say something? Do I leave it as is and just ignore? And she's very much like above it. And she's like, I would ignore. Yeah. And I was telling her, I was like, no, speak your piece. Like, and then you can do whatever you want to do. But like, I don't know, just me. I'm like, I'm going to speak my piece because I fear that I would regret it in the future. Yeah. Like, oh my God, that would have been so like.
Exactly.
Dang.
That's where we're like two different ends. Yeah. Because I'm the side where it's like, I just don't care. And I'm like, explaining myself isn't going to do shit because this person already knows what they did wrong. Yeah. And I'd rather just like leave and never speak to you again. And it's like, yeah. Oh, she's really gone. Like, she doesn't want to speak to me. Yes, I'm gone. Like, bye. Like, once you're like out of my life, once I like make the decision, like, oh, I didn't like that, I did not like that.
She's a Virgo.
And like, you need to, like, you're out. You're
She's a
out. You know? So I was like, what do I do? Do I just like not respond? But I was like, I'm just gonna say the one thing that like
let him reflect on it.
Yeah, like just like sit with that for a second.
Sit with it.
Because like it is what happened. And like you know that is why you weren't texting.
Correct.
So all I said was like, you only text me when you're bored.
And I'm glad that you texted him because it actually gave me the funniest, most ridiculous response you'll ever hear. Take it away.
The other text messages, they took a while to respond. This one, like immediately.
Because you made a point. You made a point to me. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. You said they'll respond quick when they're like called out and they're like trying to prove a point.
Yeah, always.
If they don't care, like they have their phone, they're gonna respond like in hours.
If it's like some normal text message,
like, oh, she clocked me, I gotta prove differently.
You need to like
the response is
running.
instant.
They're fighting for their life.
Yeah.
That's what was happening. Right when I clock him, that's when he sends a text message and is like, oh my god, my bad, like
I'm not this way.
I'm really not like that. Like I'm not a fuckboy. I'm like kind of charming. I'm charming in person.
Verbatim.
Like that's like the word. That's the verbiage that was being used.
So like a guy telling you like, I swear I'm not a fuckboy. What? Like it's like, why do you have to swear? Like
why
if you weren't, something? You wouldn't need to. You know what I mean?
You don't need to prove.
Yeah, you don't need to prove.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine, really. Like it's fine. I'm fine. So I did not answer those either because I was like, what is one to say to that? Like I'm not, that was the nail in the coffin. Like that was my last fucking straw. My last straw was like, I can't do this. I can't because I'm not explaining myself. And then I got like this like retaliation, kind of like trying to prove like, ha ha ha, like bruh, like you didn't answer me till like midday Saturday. And I was like,
hate it.
But we were, and in my head I was thinking like, no, but we were talking the day before and I had said my weekend was free. Like I had said my friend was away.
He hit you with the bruh and he hit you with he flipped it onto you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not explaining myself. Like I had already said my weekend was open and my friend was gone. Like what? Like put two and two together.
He just wanted your attention. Like whenever he was bored, he wasn't actually gonna go out with you.
Exactly. It was more of like a friendship vibe where I think he saw it as like, yeah, like we'll be friends, we'll hang out together. Like,
okay, but then you should have like said that from the beginning. That you want to be friends.
And then the last text that I got from this man after he was trying to explain that he wasn't a fuckboy was the next day because I didn't answer that. And the next day it was 2 p.m. and he was trying to prove that yes, indeed, he does respond at like normal times of the day. And he said, hey, shaking hand emoji, not bored now. At 2 p.m.
That is crazy.
And that's when I was just
I feel like he tried being funny, but I don't find you funny. I don't find you funny. I don't find it funny. I don't find it funny when you're like, what, 24? A short break to talk about book club. Our February read is Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn. Make sure to follow Full-Time Daughter on Fable to log your reads, interact with us, the club, and discuss chapters. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube where we meet for a book club after every 3 reads. All info is over on our Instagram, links below in the description. And now back to the episode. We transitioned to Issa's little crash out, her situationship. Trauma. Let's seat ourselves. Let's regroup. Oh god.
Tell us about New York, man.
Throwing out his name already. What's been going on with me? In the month of January, I experienced a whirlwind of emotions. I fell in love, question mark? with what I think is essentially AI. Okay, and allow me to explain myself. I am the type of person where I don't get crushes on people. Like, I really don't. I feel like so many people around me are just like talking to someone or they like someone, and I'm the type of person where I feel for the longest time abnormal because I just don't crush on people.
No, I'm the same way.
And I've talked to you about this so much. We always talk about this. What does it mean when you don't get crushes on people? And
we'll find people attractive.
Yeah,
but it's not like
sure.
It takes so much. I think it's because we need like some sort of connection.
Yeah,
like we can think you're attractive.
I can think you're cute.
Yeah,
but it's like almost like I'm not like, it's so different when you have a crush.
I need their attention. Like I want to do stuff for them.
You want to talk to them.
Like you want.
Oh
no.
God, guys! I started developing this crush on someone. We will call him New York Man. And New York man and I started super friendly, conversational, casual. He was super kind, complimentary, very much like we shared similar interests. And I just really liked that. I was like, wow, it's so rare to meet someone like him. And I found our conversations really fun and like carefree, and it was just nice to like speak to him. I was like, yeah, it's so rare. And
I think he was very straightforward with you too. Like, you kind of knew.
Oh my god, guys, wait, let me just say,
like, you knew.
I think I need someone who like challenges me, like actually calls me out and challenges me, because it makes me confront things that I'm like, haha, like I hide behind like humor and like, I don't know,
or like just have avoidant tendencies, and you're like,
that's me, you know, avoidant, fearful, whatever. We don't live in the same city. Our lives are so different. And I was like, okay, this is never gonna happen. Isa, wake up. This is so unrealistic. And like I am, I always go for the guys that are unobtainable and like far away and whatever. Like, we remember Mr. Kennedy, like all the way in the Middle East.
Dude,
like
Canon event is having like some random long distance like crush or whatever. And you're like, wait, you know it's never gonna work out. Like,
I know. I stopped it. I like set a boundary because I was like, stop, you're like being too nice to me, you're so complimentary. It's like, I can't do this, because what you're doing,
like,
it's
realistic.
Like flirty, and it's like, it feels like you want to go out with me, and like date me, but it's like really weird. Like, it feels like you like me, but I can't do that because I'm like, it's unrealistic. So I stopped it, and I was like, we can be friends. Like, we can be friends.
And like, you hadn't met.
And we hadn't met because we lived in different cities, but I was so okay with being friends because I'm the type of person where like, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm still whatever. Also, it just feels weird because I don't want to lead someone on, and I don't want to be led on. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to fake something.
Which is like the mature thing to do. I just think it's like, okay, maybe it wasn't that deep to him. Yeah. But like, you were speaking as if you were interested and like dating this woman.
Mind you, at first I wasn't even interested in this guy. Do you remember that I was like, I want
exactly.
So yeah, we had like stopped, but then I found myself wanting to speak to him again because I found our conversations really interesting and like fun. And so we started back up again, but then it started so flirty. Like, it was so flirty, and I love compliments. I love banter. I love compliments. I love compliments. I love it. I love it. I love hearing how you perceive me and see me and whatever. But I also don't, it's like too much sometimes. And I'm a person that I'm like, relax, slow down. Like, what are you doing? I'm a slow burn. Like, I don't know what you're doing right now. And so again, after we had started talking again, I had laid out that boundary where I was like, stop flirting with me. Don't call me this. Don't call me any sort of like sweet name, like a little penny. I hate that shit. Oh my god,
I hate it.
Because why? That's reserved for my man. Like, I'm so sorry.
And like, I also just don't like it because you don't know him. Exactly. Like, I just kept saying to her every time a point would be brought up where it was like,
I hated it,
or no,
like, why are you
like,
calling me that?
I would always just be like, you don't know him. You don't know
my love, sweetheart. My love, sweetheart. Like, ew, that pisses me off. Like,
you
my
don't
love
know her.
I always think about it. Like, if you are speaking to me like this, I know you're speaking to the whole roster like this. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. So I was like, don't call me that. Don't tell me. I was so vocal about like not.
Yeah, like you had boundaries. Like, you had boundaries.
However, I was suppressing my crush.
Mm-hmm. No, but you also like broke your own boundaries. Yes. Let's talk about that.
Okay, wait.
Because she was like, oh my god, don't flirt with me. But she was like actively flirting back. Yes, Isa, yes, you were. So. And I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, you just said you weren't going to speak to this man. No, you told him, oh, like, we're not going to speak as much. We're only going to be friends. Don't be flirty with me.
I might have.
No, you
I might have insinuated some stuff.
Exactly. No, she was typing as if this was like
Cailyn thinks I'm tóxica.
She's tóxica a little
bit.
But
here's the thing, it's just I'm a woman in male fields. Like, I am doing what you're doing.
The player, I hate the game.
You know, reels. And I'll be for real with you.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I fully crashed out over this. I'm not even kidding. I will be so vulnerable and so real right now.
God.
I fully crashed over crashed out over that update. So like
exposed.
Basically, you can
no, but actually, this is a good warning to anyone who doesn't know.
This is you can see the reels that people like, right?
Yeah, like
so I was just like swiping one time, and then I saw this like reel of like a situation, like one of those like when she blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
I saw a reel, and I was like, why did he like this? And I was like, that's not. That I don't.
The receipts
that's not
is
me.
crazy.
Like I don't. That's funny. I didn't receive this, and like that's not me. Like that. This has this situation. This like girl. This like YN in the reel is not me.
This YN
like I'm not that type of girl.
Any of my characteristics.
So I was like, oh, okay. Mind you, he kind of like I don't know. He was just so distant. In my POV, watch. He sees this and he's like, I did
because
not.
They always get defensive.
No,
I'm sorry to call you
babe.
out, but like it had to be
It's
done.
fine, babe. Anyway, this is how I felt and perceived it. Everyone has a different story, whatever. I literally started crashing out over this man I have never met. And because at this point, I had developed a crush on him.
I was gonna bring that up. I was like, at this point, you were like,
I did
you
have a crush.
You liked
and
him.
He clocked me. I said, I need us to stop this. And he was like, oh, because you like me. Like, I know what it's like to have a crush. And the fact is, I could go on Love is Blind because I literally think I fell in love with, like, the idea of someone.
Like, she would win. I don't even think there's a winner.
I would win. I would win. I would also win.
I would win. There's, like,
I
no
could also,
winner
like,
of
fall
Love
in
is
love with
Blind.
AI, apparently. Like, a robot. Like, it's WandaVision. Like literally, it's WandaVision. Like,
all you have to do is say the right thing. She's on her knees. Like, she's like, wow.
Apparently. No, like, master manipulator.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding. Yeah. And he no longer spoke to me the way he used to. Like, it was, like, weird. Like, I don't know. It was, like, a different vibe.
Different feeling.
And
the vibe was off.
Basically, the crash out felt like I was literally broken up with, and I don't know.
It felt like that though. Even from like my POV, like I wasn't even in this. I wasn't even
like I was broken up with fully, because here's the thing, guys, and I'm exposing him. I don't care. I don't care. He knows.
Listen,
I love you from afar.
If you're in our lives, you're subject to be talked about.
He like said so many things, and then when he like pulled away, and like the time came to like show that, he didn't. And so I was like, damn. And then that's like what really led me to my crash out. There was a day where I was ready to like risk it all for this man. Like I was ready, and I had to call Cailyn, and I was
like, girl, please, like, you
Cailyn,
don't know him.
Cailyn sends me this text, and I have a picture of it, and I'm gonna post it so you guys can see it. And I was telling her like how down bad I was for this guy that I'd never even met, never even gone out with, and I was like, I need this man. Like, I love him.
Like, she was like down bad for him.
I was like, I need to go out with him. I wish he was here. Like, I literally wanted to go out with this man so bad. Like, I was like, if he was here, we'd already be on like date number 3. Like, what am I saying? I don't even know this man.
You don't know him.
You know, like, whatever. Whenever I get a crush, you know, I don't get one.
It's intense.
It's so intense.
Yeah. It's like a hyperfixation, you know?
Literally.
And she's like sending
a voice
memo.
I'm sending a voice memo, but we also got on a call. But you sent me, when I was telling you like how I was feeling, you were like, she sends me an all get a grip. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, I've never seen you this way. Like this. Stand up, Issa. I've never seen you this way. And I was like, guys, that's how I am. This is how I am when I get a crush, apparently. And I never get them. And it was like so intense. And he's probably like, she's a crazy person. But I was like, nah, because I wasn't like outwardly crazy. Like, and I wasn't like texting or anything weirdly. This was all internal. Like, all internal. She's the only one that like could see this fully. And then I needed like a day to understand that I wasn't really sad over the fact that we weren't talking anymore. I was sad that I wasn't like feeling the way I was feeling anymore. And I don't know if that's some sort of narcissistic trait or whatever, but I was sad that I wasn't like giddy anymore or like excited to like talk to someone. And it's like such a sweet feeling to like chat with someone and like, I don't know, then be interested in you.
No, but I think that's valid, because it's also like, yeah, something happened. You weren't communicating in the same way that you once were. So you're obviously going to feel like, oh, it's different. Like something's off. I miss that feeling of like what we used to.
I don't know. I guess I shot myself in the foot because I was like, oh, let's be friends real quick. But it's because I'm just a slow burn, and I feel like a lot of guys aren't. Like, I don't know what it is. They're just like 0 to 100
they try to, like,
so
rush
quick.
into it, and we're like, whoa.
And I can't even like process what's going on. I felt so rejected. And it was like different kind of rejection where it's not like, oh, he's not into me. It was like he chooses not to talk to me. What is wrong with me? Like, what's my problem? Like, am I boring? Am I not this? Am I like not conversational enough? Am I too avoidant? Am I too off-putting? Do I hide too much behind like humor? And I'm like, I stop things. And I was always just, I kept saying like, this always happens. Like with guys, it's just, I never get anywhere. Like I never have any sort of progress
like
or like anything with relationships or dating and whatnot. And again, it's so like blown over, like what's that thing that's like blown out of proportion. And I meet with one of my really good friends, Dorian, love you babe, and I hang out with him and another one of my friends, Kat, and they basically are talking to me about how I should reach out to him if I like this person. And I'm just like, no. Vulnerable hour, I pull out my phone and I'm like, oh my god, what do I say to this person? I haven't talked to them in so long, they haven't talked to me. And I literally just say like, hi, like I want to talk to you more, like I miss talking to you.
Yeah.
And
the response
was something that like literally I want to use unironically now in my life. Like I'm literally like, word. And I
that cracks me the fuck
word
up. See, like I can't with the way that they speak.
I hate nonchalant men.
The nonchalance.
I hate nonchalant men. Stop it. Literally stop. Just express yourself. Be real.
Word?
And then if that is him actually being real, then that's crazy. And then I was like, ew. I literally put ill because one thing I'll do is I'll always put ill or I'll put gross. Like I will express myself how I feel. Yes, that was gross. So I put ill and I was like, never mind. To my text of I want to talk more, I said never mind. My friends were like, what's going on? And I was like, nothing. It's crickets. He has no interest. And I just expressed myself saying I want to talk to you more, and he was like, yeah, cool.
Doesn't say anything back.
Crickets. I'm in the airport and I'm listening to a bunch of like New York songs, trying to get in the like, you know, in the mindset, you know what I mean? And I like post a song on my story. You all saw it. I know you guys did. And he's the first one to view it. And he's like, oh my god, are you in New York? We discussed the fact that I'm going to New York. And he's like, am I seeing you? Like he was showing enthusiasm. And I'm like literally crossing my fingers. I'm like in my hotel room planning out. I'm like, should I invite him to like the lobby? Like there's a bar. Yeah. Like should I like ask him to like, hey, is there a cool bar around here? Like, but then I was like, me ask you. See, we don't like
to be the ones.
I don't like to ask. Like if I want to ask you out and if I want to go out with you, I'll ask you out. I've done it before. Like, do we need to bring up MIA guy? Like, por favor.
It's just better when you know that like someone wants to see you and is planning something.
Yeah. So in my head, I was like mentally preparing because I was like, oh my god, like should I just like reach out and say this, blah 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 blah. Crickets.
Yeah.
A moment for the crickets, guys.
Looking back at this scenario, like I could see how it could have gotten like lost in translation.
We are the miscommunication trope.
Like, yeah, it's really miscommunication. Him and I. Because like I could see from like his POV if you sent a text message being like,
I'm with family.
Yeah, like I'm with family. That's and you just said like some way. That could be like,
I get it.
Whatever.
But here's
like
what happened after. Here's what happened after. So like he didn't text me, and then immediately after, when I got back to Miami, he starts acting like nothing, like no, like how was the flight, how was the trip, are you still in the city, blah
like
blah,
no questions.
And so it just felt weird, and I ghosted him. And I know you're like, Isa, what happened to not ghosting people? I was so mad at that point because I was just like, ew, like I got the ick because I'm like,
it just like wasn't worth trying anymore at that point.
I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired of this.
Stay strong in your belief. Like if you feel that way, stick it through. Like you can't keep giving him these chances, or like if you keep doing something or saying something, like stick to that, because now he's just gonna take you as, oh, I can text her whenever, call her up whenever, and she's gonna answer.
Okay, but then in my head I was also like, I can text him whenever.
But like, why do you want to?
Exactly, I don't know.
You only want to because he's like calling you pretty.
Trope.
Any man can call you pretty. Like you only answer him because you're like, oh my god, he's like giving me compliments.
But it's not only the compliments, it was like the conversation. Like I really wanted to like hang out with him, and then none of that. So basically he like sends me this like reel, and I just I hit that unfollow. I literally am like, nah, leave me be. Why? Because I talked to Cailyn, and Cailyn was just like, hey girl, what are you doing? Like, what do you even want out of this? Like, he's being so unserious. And I'm just the type of person where I'm like, I can be so unserious and funny and jokey, but I don't like being seen as a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was getting to that point where I was like, ew. This was already after my crash out. Like, I was post crash out. Like, right. I was experiencing all the stages. It was
literally giving like, you need a reality check for a little.
It was a reality check that I needed. Anyway, so then a couple days pass by, he texts me again, and I'm looking at the text, and then he's just like, do you never want to hear from me again? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, do I never want to hear from you again?
You're asking that to someone who loves attention.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, you were like, never want to hear from him. No, like, babe, come back
again. He was like, but I would like to be friends. And I was like, that's so funny because that's how you started. Yeah, I presented that first, and he couldn't do that, and it was really weird. And then I just thought the whole situation got stranger because I was really positive about it, because I was like, okay, yeah, like, we can be friends. That's awesome. Like, we can be friends. We can be. This whole time I've been listening to Ariana like Grande, like, we can't be friends. Like, it was
giving breakup. It really was.
Guys, it was literally giving breakup. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, this man, like, why do I want to meet him so badly? And like, I feel like we would get along. We're so similar. No, we're not. No, we're like, no, we're not.
I'm here trying to tell her, like, no, it's like what you're projecting onto him, though.
Yeah, it was a lot of what was in my projection. Head. I like made him up to be something that he probably even isn't. You know what I mean? Like, it was really a lot of like,
no idea.
Projected a lot of like things and like made him something that he isn't.
You're only taking what he's showing you. Like,
correct.
He can choose to show you whatever he wants.
Like,
and if
those
he wants
reels
to
exposed
be,
him.
If he wants to be this self-proclaimed lover boy who's like, oh my God, like, I just like think you're gorgeous, and that's all it is every time, guys. I'm not fucking playing with you. It's like never true like it's like yes, there's a connection and there's like interest that you share and stuff, but it's like it's just compliments, and like,
you are pretty doesn't work on me. It's the will you go to the museum with me that worked on me. And I'm like, like, the museum, fuck, I'm there. But here's the thing,
because if you both said, oh, like, let's just be friends, and also we're never gonna meet, and also when is this ever gonna prosper?
Here's the thing, Cailyn, so no, don't be scared.
Girl, I'm scared.
No, don't be
because
scared.
She's always like, oh, but the thing, I'll tell her, I'll set like my own boundaries for her little situationship.
No, I know, but
I'm like, say this, say that. What does she do? The opposite of what I say. So I'm like, why do I even bother? Like, you come to me crashing on, I'm like, okay. I just like nod. I'm like, smile and wave, boy, smile and wave.
Yeah, girl, you do you.
I can't. Literally, I'm like, yeah, I support women's rights and wrongs.
Yes.
Like, no, but also I think it's really funny because
no, don't expose.
She'll use like the notes.
Don't expose me.
No, it's so funny.
Cailyn,
no, but listen. You know that only Cailyn, the people that you follow back can see that.
Yeah, I know.
So it's only
public.
Like it's only like your mutuals.
Yeah.
It's not like everyone that's following you
fully exposing me. Okay, guys, I utilize the notes like if it's my job.
She'll be like, oh my God, this song really hidden right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
really
the
our
situation
situation
where it's like feeling
the emojis.
Touch deprived. That was me. Feeling like I'm losing my mind.
No,
like,
I actually
that was me.
Every time I see a new song, I'm like, oh, this is gonna explain.
Cailyn would
like
literally laugh out loud because she was like, girl, what? Get up, stand up, girl, stand up.
He very clearly knows.
Stop, I hate him.
No, you fucking don't. Like, this is every time. She's like,
no, but guys, I actually at one point
all he has to do is text hi, and she's like, I texted, and I'm like, blocked,
that's
deleted,
not true.
Reported.
That's literally not true.
Like,
that's literally
you're on my blocked
not true.
list.
I'm not that down bad.
No, you're not. You said that you were over a month ago.
Oh yeah, a month ago.
And
when
here we are.
We were in the driveway. We were in the driveway in the car, and I'm ranting. I'm like literally fully crashing out, and she's like, Isa, literally take a breath. Take a breath. I was seeing signs, bro. Like the universe was speaking to me. Like I hated it.
Like, you know how deep those parked car conversations can be in front of a house. Like, that's when it gets real. And we were like, I was like, just tell me how you like. Do you want anything to do with this man? Do you not? Like, she was like, girl. Because I was like, if not, like, what is this? What is this? Because he'd just be playing games, and you're like eating it up, or you're seeing it as like,
no, I know. Okay, but hear me out. Like, I used to think that before Cailyn was like this, like the lover girl. She is, but like I thought she was like the lover girl, like tee hee, like whatever. And
like,
I thought that I was like the realistic like clock.
It was like a flip though.
It was a flip fully. Like, I don't know who that was. Like, I'm embarrassed for her. I literally told Cailyn in the driveway, I was like, Cailyn, make fun of me in like in like a week or two. Like, come on, this is crazy. Like, what am I doing?
Literally, and I'm just here like listening because I'm trying to give realistic perspective and like advice from like what I would do, but I'm like, ultimately, I'm not the one in this like situation, so I can't really like project my feeling. I'm removed from it, but I'm not at the same time because like, I know everything.
Why not? I'm just such a why not person. I'm for the plot. I'm like why not? Like, I'll do it. I'll
and I'm like, one wrong move, you're blocked.
How would you describe me? Tell them how I was
in this.
Yeah, in this time.
I would say
crazy.
Well, yeah. Well, no, not like crazy, okay, because I think it's valid to like yeah, you experience something new and then you realize so many things.
I did not act like myself. I don't know who I was.
It was different. I will say it was different but I'm saying it's because you were experiencing something new. And like when something brings out like new emotions in you, you're like, wait, who is this version of me? Because I've never gone through something. I've never even had a crush on a man. Why is he the one to like make me act this way? Like, it happens. I was like, you know what? It's a canon event. We did not fulfill either.
We did not fulfill any of that.
For January.
And
then now
it's Valentine's Day.
And now we're like, I don't know about that. I don't know about this whole 1 a month thing. I always thought it was like, okay, if something pops up, because I do think like some months, like you can't really predict when like you're speaking to someone and like it feels natural and you're like, okay, cool, I would go on a date with you. Some months are like dead, dry Sahara desert. Like,
that's how it is right now. No, but I'm still like determined to get a date a month, but it's looking not good for me.
It's looking grim.
So anyway, I just want to know like if anyone's ever crashed out over someone that they've never met before, like ever.
I think it's gonna be a canon event for people,
like,
and we're gonna be surprised at
like, can I hear it in the like, please like DM
please
us.
Please
validate and like make me feel not alone, because I fully crashed over someone that I didn't even meet
okay, but also my little long distance
did you crash out?
Mine never got to the point as intense, I think, as yours did, like with New York Man.
Mm-hmm.
We're speaking about Gladiator. If you don't know,
guys, go back
to the nicknames dictionary, because I'm not gonna get into that whole story again.
Oh, Gladiator.
But like, we both went through something where it was like,
I had such high hopes.
I know
we had high hopes for Gladiator. We thought he was one of the good ones,
guys. But I need to say that like I have not heard from him.
No, I know we're
like,
gonna update them. We got to do like a nickname boy dictionary part 2.
Yeah, like
the
part
update.
2, like updates.
That's what I got from it.
I'm honestly proud of us, despite the things not like working out and
didn't work out for either of us. I'm still proud of us for doing what we said we would, though. Which we did.
We're gonna put ourselves out there.
We did try
and speak to people.
I really tried. We crossed our fingers and hoped.
But you know, like, we have standards.
That's the thing.
And that's the thing.
That's the thing, guys. If we didn't, this would be a different kind of episode. We would have
had stories from actual dates. But the thing is, like, we got let down. And if we get let down,
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
This was fun. This was a nice first episode transitioning into the new season. Again, we're gonna be more, open.
And we talk about everything.
And, we talk about everything. And this is gonna be
clearly.
Literally. I get a text.
Yeah, I'm like scared. No, because we're like kind of scared, because we're like,
okay, but like, why be scared? Like, they did it. They did it to us.
Like, why be scared they did it?
That's all for today's episode. Please be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at fulltimedaughterpod, and make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our episodes, our vlogs, or the book club discussions. Speaking of book club,
you can find us on Fable. We're always chatting monthly about our book of the month, and we're chatting to our members, we're chatting to each other, giving our opinions, and it's really easy to keep up with your reading goals because we only do one book a month. And it's over on YouTube because we do monthly wrap-up videos. So you can subscribe. Also be sure to follow, rate, and review the podcast, because it really helps us, and we're really trying to get the word out there about Full-Time Daughter.
Yeah.
Because we're all full-time daughters.
Literally. Share with your friends, your family, your coworkers.
Tag us in your stories if you're listening.
As always, all the links can be found in the episode description and on our link tree.
We'll see you next week, because
it's a full-time job at this point.
So funny. Guys, you know what? We're making that our new slogan, and we hope you say it every single time from here on out.
We're gonna make it happen. I don't care.
It's happening. You're gonna hear it, and you're gonna be like, it's a full-time job at this point. So start saying it now. All right. Okay.
We'll see you guys.
See you.
Bye.
Fuck licks.